This is Spinnaker3 here with an Alliance War Showcase, and today I'm going to be taking 6 fights, which isn't much, but 3 of them are fights that I wasn't even supposed to take in the first place. So this is going to be a fun war. So up first, we have a Hyperion on Hazard Shift, and I've brought along Void. Now, Hazard Shift means that if I strike into the opponent, they will either put an Incinerate on me or a Poison on me, depending on what phase they're in. Luckily, Void is Incinerate immune. So my goal is to only hit Hyperion when the Incinerate phase is up and just back away and play passively when the Poison is up. So I'm trying to land some Petrifies to control his power gain, and luckily, my first debuff is a Petrify. So that really helped me get ramped up quicker and helped me start controlling his power a lot better. But right now, I'm just blocking because he's in the Poison phase, so I don't get backed into my own corner. And it's just a very smooth fight. Now, the reason I like Void for this fight in particular, and the reason I brought him along in the first place, is because there's also Resistor here. And since there's just not going to be a lot of damage happening on basic hits because of Resistor, and because I'm going to have periods like this where I'm just backing away and holding block, it's nice to have just constant stream of steady damage, and Void does that with his debuffs. So right there, I accidentally eat a combo. That's fine. I mean, whatever. Right here, I'm just trying to go for some quicker damage, and the double degenerations are just going to add to the amount of damage I'm doing, because most of my damage from this fight is going to be coming from these debuffs. You notice that my basic hits really just aren't doing that much because he's topped up with physical resistances. And so now that I've waited out the poison phase, the Fear of the Void has now placed. This means my attack is going to be increased, and my debuffs are going to do more chip damage to Hyperion, so the fight's just going to go by even quicker. So with this special attack, there's now 2 unique debuffs, and every time I parry him, that's 3 debuffs. Each debuff from Void does a lot of damage that scales with his base attack. So that's why you see Hyperion just ticking down. Now I got a Petrify, so I'm also reversing healing, and Hyperion just drops really quickly. So next I move up to the Warlock. I'm not going to take this Warlock because I don't have a good counter for him. But up next is a fight that I wasn't even supposed to take. And that's this Korg on Mixmaster. Now luckily, he doesn't have that much health left, but I figured this would be just a cool time to showcase Guardian against Korg, because Guardian only deals energy attacks on his basic hits. He doesn't take Korg's damage back. So right here, I'm just going to parry, try and go for some intercepts, and I have to go for medium light intercepts. So you notice I land it 3 times in a row. Now I want to land it again with a medium light, another medium light, and now I just need to dex the special one, counter with a medium, and now his shield is broken. That means I can safely parry, which means I can start finishing combos like I did right there. A few times like here, I may get accidentally invaded, but I can just hold block, and then Guardian's block proficiency is really high, so I don't have to worry that much. So notice I've actually been nailing a lot of the intercepts, which is very nice to do with Guardian. And right there, I went for a special block, or a perfect block on the special attack to power gain a little bit more. And then all I need to do now is throw this special 2, and Korg will go down. Very simple and clean fight. Now up next is a fight that unfortunately I started recording way too late, and that's the Man-Thing that you see up ahead. So I started recording this at 75%, but just trust me when I say this was my first time taking it. It's Man-Thing on Kinetic Transference and Footloose. And I didn't have the right counter for this. I wasn't even supposed to take this fight in the first place, but we were losing this war, so no one actually came down my path to help out because we had to redirect them onto other paths. And so it was just up to me to clear as much as I could here. And so I'm taking this fight with Void. Now, what Void can do is that what I'm trying to do is only hit into Man-Thing when I don't have any buffs. Because if I have a buff on me, he has a chance to nullify it and turn it into a poison, which is bad. So I'm trying to use my blocks to drain his power now that I have a Petrify and Fear of the Void up. And I'm hitting to him for a lot of damage. And I'm sometimes playing passively to let his agitation fall off, because the less agitation he has, the less chance he has of converting your buff into a poison. And that fight went super smoothly. I actually came out of it with more health than when I went into it. And so that was just an all-around clean fight. Now up next, I have a Magik on Ebb and Flow, and I'm going to be using Archangel on this fight. I could have used Guardian. I was actually planning on using him, but then I just decided against it last moment since I don't have any other fights that I'm really going to take with Archangel. now that this path that I'm on isn't going to be helped out on, and I probably am not going to even make it to Boss Island. So my goal is to just get some Neuros up, just do good damage, make sure she doesn't trigger her Limbo. It's a very standard fight with Archangel. Now, I will try to be cheeky. I'll try to go for some intercepts to hopefully do more damage. But in the end, it just doesn't work out for me. And I just give up and start going for just regular neurotoxins. Because even with 60% less damage, Archangel does a lot of damage. And he just lands the Neuro. So you notice right there, I went for the light intercept, didn't get it. There I went for another light intercept, missed it. But luckily she got stunned by the Neuro. So I had a safety net. And I just launched my special 3. My special 3 will put an extra long stun on Magik, and it will give me 1 Neuro on her. So that's just going to add to the amount of damage I'm doing. So now I'm just trying to go for some bleeds. And I really need to not trigger Limbo, because if she triggers Limbo, she has a lot of bleeds on her. So her attack is kind of through the roof because the Sadist node is on this, which increases attack based on the number of debuffs on the opponent. Luckily, even though she triggered Limbo, the neurotoxins made it so that she didn't trigger the damage on me. So I actually got away from taking the Limbo damage. The only damage I've eaten is just combos from trying to go for a cheeky intercept and then realizing it's not going to work. There I go for another one, but then she gets stunned. And at this point, I'm like, she's so close to being done. So I'm just going to let my neurotoxins do the job. Don't need to go for any intercepts. No point. Like, there's no reward for that risk, if you know what I mean. So I'm just going to take her down with that heavy attack and move on to my next fight. Now, my next fight is a Void on Ebb and Flow Intercept, and I'm going to be using Guardian for this fight. I actually kind of enjoy using champions that, like, I don't have to keep using the same champion for each fight. I think I've used Ghosts here before, but now I get to use Guardian, which is always fun. I really enjoy using Guardian in War, and you'll see why. So from the start, I sort of abandoned the idea of managing my combo, because what's the point? I don't really need to use Guardian for another fight, so I can take some debuff damage. But then I realized that's probably not a good idea. I mean, it's actually doing quite a bit more damage than I expected. So I'm just going to try and actually play around that combo. You notice that I went for a perfect block on that special 2 to try and gain some power. You'll see me do that quite a few times to try and gain power. So now I'm at a special 3, and I want to basically get my special 3 off after he throws this special 1. You notice I perfect blocked the last hit, like right there. And the special 3 will give me 6 indefinite force field charges, which when I throw my next special 2 will just completely obliterate Void and end the fight. But naturally, I do want to take off the protection before I launch my special 2. So my plan is to go for an intercept before I do that. So once again, I go for the perfect block on that beam hit, and then I dash the last hit. I manage my combo, and then I get to 40. And right here, I do trigger an intercept. I wasn't really planning on doing it until I get my special 2. Here, I threw my special 1 just for funsies. I don't really need to. Void would have been down either way. But I felt that this way I could at least get the intercept and have a really big-looking special 2. So I get the intercept right there, launch my special 2, and Void just drops. I mean, this is why I love using Guardian in War. Big damage, super tanky. I really enjoy playing him. Just to add that to the list of reasons why I love to play Guardian. Now, here's the third fight that I wasn't supposed to take, and that's this Immortal Abomination on Redoubled Determination. And we originally should have a Quake player take this, but the Quake player was redirected. So I took Archangel. Archangel against this iBom, very bad fight. You notice from the very first hit, I get a poison on me. That poison does a significant amount of damage, especially since this iBom is awakened. I only got 1 neurotoxin, which kind of sucked. So I'm just trying to convert poisons into neuros, and the RNG is just awful. I've gotten 2 neurotoxins off of like 3 heavies that could have gotten me way more. And Abomination throws a special 2, and that just means the poison aura is up, which means I'm just going to start getting ticked down by a lot of poisons pretty quickly. That's why I'm trying to get as far away as possible. And with this special one, I just dropped. So it was a sad way to end the war. We did end up losing this war in general. But overall, I did enjoy the fights I had up until that Immortal Abomination. So if you enjoyed this video and you want me to make more Alliance War videos, please let me know in the comment section. Subscribe if you want to see more, and I'll catch you later.